Everyone, I'm Dean Obidala, and welcome to tonight's Dean Obidala Show on Sirius XM Channel 127, Friday, August 20th. As always, I'm here to be your MBFF. And now, the GOP's got a new tactic in who to blame for the rise in COVID cases. Are they blaming the Republican governors who are banning mask mandates in schools or in local communities? Of course not. Who do you think they're blaming? Did you guess black people? You're right, because they first began by blaming brown people. So this is new. And it just reminds you, as we go through this, the GOP is no longer a political party. It is a white nationalist fascist movement. The fascist part is the embrace of violence. The white nationalism is pretty clear. Let's be honest, not even being hyperbolic here. In Europe, there are parties like the GOP, the AFP in Germany. You've got Marine Le Pen's party in France. They are just white nationalist party. They're nativist. They are very anti-everyone who is not them, not their religion, not the way they look. We happen to only have two major parties in America, so we actually have to care about the GOP. If there was some small little party, we could ignore them. So what happened now? As a reminder, a few weeks ago, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, when cases were exploding there, and he was asked, why won't you let schools put mask mandates? He said, did he cite science? No. Did he cite a doctor? No. He cited freedom. Freedom. That's why kids should not be protected, because freedom, his freedom to run for president in 2024. That's all it's about. But at the same time, he blamed migrants. He said Joe Biden has an open border and they're coming over the border, and that's who's bringing disease. Well, first of all, it's not an open border by any stretch. Overwhelmingly, people are turned away. Those who are allowed to make asylum applications, generally children in very small numbers, they're tested for COVID before they're allowed to go into population. The border's not open. I had a Trump supporter call my show who said the border's wide open. I go, do you mean all the guards, the Customs and Border Patrols have left their post? And he said to me, you shut up. I think I won that one. So clearly, this was just ginning up fear. And the other thing is Florida is exploding in cases. They have the most hospitalizations in America right now. And they're not a border state. Unless people are swimming from Central America to Florida, they're not a border state. But that was the lie then, blame brown people. Well, the new thing last night on Fox News with Laura Ingraham is Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who now is blaming black people. And by the way, Texas has the second most hospitalizations in the country. So he said that, and I'll read his exact words so it's clear. Here on my show, I'll play the actual clip. He said, most of the new cases are from unvaccinated. And he goes, the biggest group in most states are African Americans who have not been vaccinated. Last time I checked, over 90% of them vote Democrat. So he said, quote, the biggest group in most states who are not vaccinated are African Americans. That's called a lie. That's a lie. It's a lie on percentage basis, and it's an overwhelming lie in raw numbers. In Black Americans, about 13% of the entire country. So even when you get the percentages, for example, fact checking all day by Texas Tribune, Houston Chronicle, other Politifact, Washington Post, very clear. In Texas, in reality, on a percentage basis, Black Texans are more vaccinated than white Texans, but it's pretty close in percentage, to be honest. I've seen different numbers. It's pretty close. It's not they're the biggest group of unvaccinated. Who's the biggest group? By far, it is white Texans. They are 40% of the state, over 40% of the state overall, and Black Texans are only 13%. So while they're equal almost in percentage of who's getting vaccinated, since there's so many more white people, it's literally 3-1 white people unvaccinated to Black people in Texas. So Dan Patrick lied to gin up fear. Also, statistics from Texas today, Black residents in Texas account for 16% of the cases of COVID. 16%. That's it. The rest, 84%, are coming from white and other people in the state of Texas, not Black people. But it's, this comes a day after the terrorist plot yesterday in Washington, D.C. by a Trump supporter who screamed about immigrants coming over the border and that they're coming from Afghanistan, they're coming from Mexico. That's what he's whining about. And that's because Trump and the GOP has told him that over and over, that your life sucks, not because you failed, not because Republicans fail, but because Democrats are letting brown people into the country. Now they're saying now it's Black people who are getting us sick and killing people. Where do you think this will lead? This, if it's continued and doubled down on, it's the type of thing that leads to hate crimes. The GOP doesn't care who dies. They literally don't. It's not a pro-life party. It's a pro-oppression party. So this is what we're dealing with, my friends. And if you look at the red states, overwhelmingly, the cases with the most hospitalizations, Florida is first. They're the third biggest in population, but first biggest in hospitalizations, 55% jump. Then you got Texas, which should not be there at number 2. Then you got California, then you got a bunch of red states again. The red state governors are not serving the people of their state. They care more about politics than they do saving lives. That's the reality. If it was about normal politics, owning the liberals, that kind of stuff, trolling us, that's one thing. But when you're misleading people to their sickness and their death, often intentionally, the question I ask as a lawyer is, why are they not talking about criminal charges against people like Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott? And this is not a policy dispute. If there was a good faith discussion about, hey, I have doctors saying masks don't protect children from COVID, versus some doctors, and they're all reputable, saying it does, and I choose to pick these doctors who are saying that you don't need a mask, well, that's based on good faith. There are no doctors on the side of Greg Abbott. There are no doctors on the side of Ron DeSantis. What's on their side? Political ambition. So they are knowingly banning. This is not a situation where they've chosen not to mandate masks. They ban schools from putting a mask mandate. These schools are doing it for one reason, to protect the kids, to protect the teachers. They don't have a political dreams. They want to save lives. But DeSantis and Abbott don't care about that. They both are aspirational and politically moving to where else they're going to go next, probably 2024 run for president. How this is not criminal is beyond me, because this is not a good faith policy dispute. This is knowingly exposing people to a deadly virus. And you know you're doing that. And you're doing it for one reason, to help your political career. We'll talk about that more on my show. My show is live 6 to 9 p.m. on SiriusXM channel 127. Come on over. Go to the website, SiriusXM. Free trials. Click a free trial. Call my show. Be part of our family. We got so much work to do. A lot of big things coming up in the fall. We're going to get out there, hopefully, and do things, events out on the road. So join our family. Thanks for tuning in to the preview of tonight's Dino Vidala Show.